Hello everyone, Lawrence here from Unicorn Bikes. When I wanted to upgrade my P-Train from 135mm of travel to 155, I knew I had to get a 160mm travel fork. Now, the market for 160mm forks is incredibly crowded right now. There's all sorts of brands offering forks, which is great for both me, but also you and all other consumers who want to do a little bit of research by watching reviews such as this one. In the end, I wanted something easy to service with very good parts availability. And while there are many brands offering 160mm forks, basically this serviceability and parts availability criterion basically meant it was either a Fox 36 or, well, a Lyrik Ultimate. The cheapest I could find, the Fox Factory 36, was 1136 euros, which is a lot of money, especially when you keep in mind that this Lyrik Ultimate, also a 2023 fork, was only 799, and so the choice was made pretty quickly. This is a whole 2 tire sets that I saved by going with the Lyrik Ultimate. Just so we're clear here, this is the 2023 RockShox Lyrik Ultimate in 160mm travel, 44mm offset, which they all are, and this is a 29er model. I rode this exclusively on a 155mm travel Active 5 P-Train here in Belgium on very rough terrain, but also somewhat smooth flowy terrain. So I have a really good idea of how the fork does on all sorts of terrain. Looking at RockShox's marketing materials, they have absolutely everything in this fork. It's got buttercups, 35mm stanchions, a much stiffer lower with pressure relief valves. It's got the Charger 3 damper and a Debonair Plus air shaft in here as well. I really wonder what they'll come up with for 2024 because this one already has everything. Now, jokes aside, I've mostly been comparing this fork to a 140mm 2021 Pike Ultimate, which is, well, only 144, whereas this is 160. Now, I do have some experience on the Fox Factory 36, but it's really hard to compare based on how it felt back in your memory when you want to do back-to-back testing. So mostly we're comparing to a Pike Ultimate here. So let's go through all the marketing speak one by one. And I'm going to start off with the buttercups. It says so right here on the fork, buttercups. And what these are basically tiny rubber cones. They sit in both the air side and the dampener side at the bottom of the shaft. And the idea with these is they don't have any like friction compared to another part of the fork. And so they can deal with very small vibrations that are very high frequency. And that's something that the damper or the air shaft can't really deal with because of friction in the seals and such. So that really does sound like a marketing gimmick, but I have to say I noticed quite a difference in vibrations in my handlebars when comparing the Lyrik Ultimate with buttercups to my Pike Ultimate without the buttercups. Now, it's interesting to keep in mind that these buttercups are only in the Ultimate, so the high-end model. I really hope they can bring that to all the other models as well, but I'm guessing you need the stiffer lowers with the pressure relief valves to get the buttercups. So let's talk about these pressure relief valves. Other brands have been doing this for a while, and the idea is that when you go up a lot or travel by plane, there's a lot of pressure buildup inside the lowers. Also, just through cycling the suspension, there will be some pressure buildup. And so you press the buttons, this opens the valves, and well, the air gets out, equalizes all the pressure. Now, again, great in theory, but I've only been riding this in Belgium. I've not been traveling by air, and well, I haven't had to use it. I haven't pressed these once where actually heard any air come out, but I do know that for a lot of people this is actually quite an important thing. Now, the lowers being stiffer, I don't have the previous model, so I can't really comment on that. One thing I can comment on though is, well, I paid $7.99 for these, and so I do think it's worth getting the Ultimate model if you are speccing up your own bike or upgrading a bike as I did. Also new for the 2023 model is the Charger 3 damper, and this is where the real magic happens in my opinion. The previous Charger 2.1 was already pretty good, but what I find the Charger 3 does really well is separating low and high speed compression. There's only one rebound dial, so it's just rebound at the bottom, and there's a lot of steps for that, more about that later. But yeah, it's very good at adjusting your low speed compression without adjusting the high speed compression, and that is something a lot of other folks really struggle with. Now, there are a lot of clicks once you start twisting these dials, and that can be very intimidating to newer riders or people who just don't want to go through 20 runs just to set up their low speed dampening. So what I did, because well, there's 18 clicks of rebound for example, is I just bracketed my suspension 3 clicks at a time, and well, that was about it. Now you can feel, if you really pay attention, you can feel a difference click by click, but it's such a minor thing that I wouldn't really bother with it. Just go 2 or 3 clicks at a time, you'll be fine. And so last but not least, the Debonair Plus airspring. It's a very good airspring and it's very easy to set up. Basically, you set your sag and then ride your bike, and depending on how much progression you need, you may add some volume spacers. There's really not much more that I can say about that. So with all that out of the way, it's finally time to ride the damn bike. Now, if I were to describe the Lyrik Ultimate in 3 words, it would be smooth and quiet. And that is really how I feel about this fork. It is much smoother, probably thanks to these buttercups, but also it is noticeably quieter than my Pike Ultimate. Yes, there's 2 more centimeters of travel, but that's hardly relevant for this sort of stuff. What I notice is there's no squish sound when you're actually squishing the fork. There's no rattling, there's basically no noise going on at all, and that's a very good thing. Now, it doesn't matter how good your fork is. If your setup on it is bad, then, well, the fork will feel horrible. And so here's how my setup is. I have 6.27 bars of pressure in it with 1 single volume spacer, because there's plenty of travel for the riding I do. It has 13 clicks of low speed compression from closed and 4 high speed compression clicks from closed, and a whopping 12 clicks on the rebound dampener. Now, for this video, I would love to say crazy claims like this fork made me 10% faster, or it sticks to the trail like chewing gum to your hair. But really, all forks these days are pretty good if you tune them right. And all the differences are incredibly minor, especially if you start looking at the high-end stuff. Now, I've ridden DVO, I've ridden Fox, I've ridden RockShox, and I've ridden Formula, and I can say that they're all fairly good, but with small nuances. The main thing that separates the Lyrik Ultimate, in my opinion, is the price. It's only 800 euros if you shop around a little bit, and that really is, to me, a very good deal for a very good fork. I'm not just saying get this one because it's cheaper. I'm telling you get this one because it's as good as everything else, if not better, and cheaper. I do feel like the Lyrik is in a little bit of trouble though, because Fox released the 38 and immediately RockShox countered that with the Zeb. But now the Zeb is available in 160 up to 190, and the Pike is available in 100 for the dirt jump model to 140, I think. And so there's only like a 20 mil travel range for the Lyrik to sit. I wonder how long it will take RockShox to try to simplify their product range by adding a little bit more travel to the Pike and a little bit more to the Zeb as well on the low end then, of course. And so that brings me to the conclusion on the Lyrik Ultimate. It really is, in my opinion, one of the best forks you can buy, and it's at the best price that you can buy a fork of this quality. If you have other suggestions for high quality, good value forks, let me know in the comment area, but I do think this really is the best one out there. And on top of that, serviceability is incredible. There's parts available for these forks literally everywhere. There's manuals, there's video tutorials. You can do all your own maintenance on these forks, even if you have 0 experience, thanks to the amount of knowledge on the internet. Try doing that for your Formula or EXT fork. Reliability has been great. I've had 0 issues. I serviced it once and no issues, no leakages, no squeaking, no bushing play, nothing. So overall, incredibly happy with my purchase, and I can definitely recommend the Lyrik Ultimate to everyone looking for a fork in this sort of travel range. Anyway guys, that was it for me for today. I'll be back next week with a new video. Please give me your thoughts on this video, what I can improve in the comments down below. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see more regular content, or maybe even follow me on Instagram, where I do not put any effort into posting whatsoever. For now, thank you all very much for watching. See you all in the next one. Cheers!